So, Sam, can you tell us something about what you do professionally and maybe for how long?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Sam Day. I'm a digital marketing consultant. I've been working in the industry for about 10 years, 10 plus years. How I got started was by in e-commerce, actually. So I was selling products online when it wasn't as popular as it is today. So I was selling products on platforms such as Amazon, such as eBay. And that was kind of where I first learned and understood the power of the internet. And I was leveraging that to kind of create a really successful online business. I started to document my journey on YouTube and built a following from there online for people who wanted to learn how to do what I was doing. And then I started to teach more of the marketing aspects of online selling and starting businesses online and websites and so on and so forth. Yeah. LinkedIn discovered my content about 2.5, maybe 3 years into me creating content. And they asked me to produce some courses on their behalf. So I've been doing that now for about 6 years, creating marketing courses on topics such as social media, paid advertisements, and so on and so forth. I also currently work with the European Commission as well, teaching some of their members how to use or leverage the power of the internet to push some of their programs and initiatives. And kind of throughout the course of the last 10 years, I've managed to work with some of the biggest brands in e-commerce, including Alibaba, DHgate, Canva, just to name a few. So yeah, I've got quite in-depth experience in the e-commerce and digital marketing industry.
Okay, so you are working in the space for a number of years. What would you say are the biggest changes in the digital marketing space?
The space is ever changing. It's changing all of the time. I would say definitely recently, the biggest change is the introduction to AI, as probably everybody is thinking about now and speaking about now. That's one of the biggest changes I've probably seen in the last 10 years, of one thing really changing how everything is going to be done, and the pace at which it seems to be changing a lot of things as well. Even just the practical ways we go about creating content and creating marketing strategies is changing so rapidly with the introduction of AI. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on and to look out for. I think in general, usually like platforms such as Google, Facebook, or whatever platform you're focusing on or researching into, they are always trying to best serve the end user. So when it comes to Google updates or YouTube updates or new features that LinkedIn might introduce or whatever it might be, they're always creating features to keep people on the platform for longer and to increase user experience. And AI seems to be something that is doing that in a similar way, but in a rapid pace, and it's kind of moving in a way that not a lot of people are going to be able to keep up with. So that's definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah. So with the introduction of AI, do you think marketers will be more effective than ever before, or will they be just losing their jobs?
A combination of both. I feel like there will be marketers who lose their jobs, most definitely, and there will be marketers who are able to use it and adapt it in a way to make themselves and their businesses more effective. So it's going to be a tool that those who can use it in a savvy way will prosper, and those who can't wrap their heads around it, I think will probably be out of work. Yeah.
Can you name some examples? Maybe copywriters are more endangered than others, or what would you say on this topic?
It's difficult to say at the moment because it's still progressing. But if I was to predict, I would say most industries in marketing would be under threat. Like you said, yes, copywriters definitely because of how easy it is to create content. That being said, it's still an art form to create content and to create copy, even if you are using AI. to not, because one thing that is going to happen is because a lot of people are going to be using it now, it's a lot of content is likely to sound very similar. And so the ability to have the right type of prompts is going to become important. So I don't feel like a generic content writer who's not industry specific in any way is going to bring much value in the next 6 months to a year's time. But someone who has in-depth knowledge of a topic and is able to prompt in a more effective way to kind of tease out the answers or the type of content that they need are going to win. So it's essentially, I see it as giving AI your main points, your main bullet points, and allowing it to kind of flesh it out rather than you having to flesh it out yourself, rather than coming to AI with a blank and not knowing anything about a topic and letting it produce a great content for you, which I think is unrealistic.
Are there any strategies, any marketing strategies that are becoming more obsolete than ever? Are there anything in specific?
A lot of, I would say, black hat marketing strategies, especially with SEO. You want to be keeping the end user in mind. You want to be keeping the customer in mind, and people who are watching your content online or people who are clicking on your ads or coming to your website. You want to be people focused. When you look at some of the biggest online companies like Google, and you look at some of their mission statements, they are really focused on people. They would actually lose short-term profits in order to make people's experience using Google that much better. And that's the reason why platforms like Google and platforms like Amazon have kind of been able to beat their competitors, because they're focused on, okay, what can bring the most amount of value and what's going to make the user experience better. So if you're focusing on your target customer, your target audience, producing the best quality content, producing the best products that's going to meet their needs, then you will do well online. If you're not focused on that and you're focused on, okay, your needs as an individual rather than the needs of the people, then you will fall behind.
Yeah, so you are currently doing workshops. You are working with, as you said, European Commission and institutions like this. Do you think, or what would you say are the most frequent asked questions maybe from them? What are they interested in? People nowadays, I think.
So one of the biggest questions I get is how to turn people from, say, casual followers on social media into either clients or customers, right, or whatever it might be. And in marketing, we speak a lot about funnels and how funnels work. So at the top of the funnel is the most amount of people. Those are people who are maybe watching your YouTube videos, maybe they're following you on Twitter, they might stumble across your website somehow. And that's great. You're building awareness. So the first kind of step to getting customers is that awareness phase. People actually know who you are. So there's that potential that they can become your clients. Then the second step or stage in that funnel is to get people to make a miniature commitment to be part of your database. So to come to your website, enter their name and email address, and now they're on your mailing list. Yeah, so you can market to them. So being on social media is great. You know, you can have an audience of 10,000, 100,000, or whatever it might be. Those are people who can watch your content and who can be sometimes really loyal fans. But the issue is you're subject to the algorithm. If you post something, not all of your followers are going to see it. And also your account essentially can get restricted or banned at any particular moment. Obviously, that is a rare occurrence, but it is something to keep in mind. When you have people on your email list, you can market to them more or less as and when you want. You can back up that list as well. So if anything happens, you can always have those emails for you. And then once you get them as a customer, think about getting them as a repeat customer. So not just getting them to buy one time, but can you offer them something that allows them to buy multiple times? Because those who buy multiple times from you are going to be your best customers online.
Yeah. Also, do you think online education can play a role in this, in what you are saying, in making people more into digital marketing, into the new technology, as you said, AI and stuff like that? Do you think it can be effective? Is basically what I'm asking.
Yeah, most definitely. As we've been speaking about, like the digital landscape is evolving constantly. It's always been evolving from the time I started
Yeah.
started online to now. So even when my first online business of selling products on Amazon, selling products on Amazon today is vastly different to selling products just a short 10 years ago. And now with the introduction of things like AI, things are moving even quicker than they were ever before. So online education is vital. Having the traditional, I'd say, education is great. You know, some of the fundamental aspects of business is they're not really ever going to change, like understanding your target audience and, you know, market research and, you know, having a unique selling point. These kinds of things are really important. But there are certain things that you just won't learn from your degree or whatever it is you might be doing offline. And also, you need to keep up to date with what is new and current in the industry as well. I think about companies like Blockbuster, for example. They didn't adopt the internet quick enough and they lost out. They're out of business and they lost out to Netflix, to Amazon Prime, and to all of those organizations where actually they should have been at the forefront of you know, online streaming. And so now with the introduction of new tools and concepts, if your degree was 10 years ago, you will become obsolete if you're not retraining and taking online courses and investing in online education.
Well, talking about more about your courses, what would you say is the most practical information that people might get?
So for my courses, I focus on helping people understand what tools are out there. So you would get a really good understanding of the tools that are available to you, so you can use those kind of accordingly. So I think of it as like a toolbox. So if you have a toolbox and you're a handyman, sometimes you might need a hammer, sometimes you might need a measuring tape, sometimes you might need a screwdriver. So you never know what tool you will need where. So I teach copywriting, for example. That's going to be important when writing emails to an email list, or reaching out to somebody on LinkedIn, or, you know, creating a thumbnail or a title for a YouTube video. I also teach video creation. So that's going to be important in terms of creating content. E-commerce is important for selling products and knowing what platforms to set up and where to set up and how to link it to your email marketing. So each course that you take is a new tool that you can add to your toolbox. And when that opportunity comes for you to use it, you can take that out of your toolbox and use it effectively.
What future do you predict? If we are talking about online education, do you think it's there's a, let's say, bright future for this kind of learning?
100%. Even the COVID pandemic, I think, really allowed us to realize how important the internet is for us to stay connected, and for us to kind of leverage information on the internet to be retraining and to be learning new things. So it's definitely something that needs to be embraced, and something that needs to be taken seriously. The internet is a wealth of information that is updated every second, essentially. So it's just a great way to stay on top of any industry, really.
Well, Sam, before we wrap it up, is there anything in particular that you want to promote or say what you are working on currently? I know you have a book. Is there anything that you are working on right now?
I'm constantly working with LinkedIn to produce new courses. So always be on the lookout for that. You can kind of find me online by my name, Sam Day. Day is spelled D-E-Y, or on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Day Tips, where I kind of produce my latest tips and information. But I'm also quite accessible as well. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any particular questions.
Sam, thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.